How's
You
everybody
did.
doing? No, don't you start barking now.
Oh, the puppy's getting involved.
She's just talking. All right, let's talk out of you. Oh, no, no, no. You're really not in spirit. Spirit.
I love the name. Did you know
That,
my cat's name's Callie?
all right, let's see if we can get a better. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Honey, honey. No, no. It's been a fun day. All right, let's see. Can't see me very well. I knew that would be let's try it. Wasn't sure how things would work until I was actually, there we go. Lighting's always an issue in here.
Yeah, I put some lights up. I put some nice little Halloween lights up. Oops, I forgot one of them here. There we go.
Let's see here. I didn't have any invite or request option. It just had the comment box and then a place to
Weird.
send gifts on my
Uh,
side there.
I don't know. I do not know. You know what? I have to go up to my. We're going for a walk, folks. Hi, there you made it.
Ah,
Hi.
ah.
How are you today? You said you went out with the kids, you had some fun?
Yeah, it's been a busy day. Oh, we did have fun. There's nothing like Halloween in New England. I was in the South the last 5 years. It's just not the same.
No?
I put a video on there. I mean, the streets, it looks like hocus pocus. The streets are just a run with kids here. It's safe here. Yeah. Very, very, very,
That's awesome, eh?
very fortunate.
I wish I was in a community that celebrated the season
Like
the way I would like. But
the
but
whole
you're
house
in
is
pretty much Witchyville.
I pretty much, yeah. I'm about an hour and 20 minutes north of Salem. Yeah, pretty much. Got a big mixture of everybody up
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah. Lucky lucky you.
I missed the first few minutes.
So
Where are
yeah,
we at? Where are we at? What's the plan?
we're nowhere yet. We're just hanging out for a few minutes, getting sorted out, trying to find the right music, trying to get Shelby online. You know, I had my mask on earlier.
I'm gonna have to
But
play with it another time, both directions. Let's see here. Rain in Toronto. Blessed be.
what?
Hello. Hello. I'm just reading the comments. It's raining here in Ohio. The dog senses the energy. Yes, she was carrying on, wasn't she? That's my boxer spirit. My other one got suddenly ill earlier this week.
Yeah, do you want to share with them what you have for the people that are
I
here?
banged
They
out
might
an
want.
ebook. It's available in my, it's for, we're going to talk about part of the ritual that I wrote in it here today. I do a lot of writing, and it's an ebook about Soam. You wanted me to go through it? Is that what you were thinking? Let me think. Well, we don't have
Yeah,
to go
well,
through it
I
all.
was thinking that some folks here might want to go and grab it, and then
I'm,
that way
I'm just going to grab,
they might want to follow along. So they could go to your TikTok page, right, Shelby?
there's a link tree in my profile. Yeah. And it says Soam ebook, and you can get it there. All of that's appreciated. It all goes towards my Labrador's vet bill. She got suddenly ill this week because somehow she got into mysterious bird feed, of all things, and made her really, really sick. She had to have surgery for a blockage. That's a mystery for another time. Let me grab a light though.
It's 46 a.m. Where are you, Lauren?
Oh my, other side of the world.
I'm gonna light the candles.
9 to 9, 12 hours difference. Where are you? All right. So in this document, I always do a little disclaimer on my documents or in my ebooks or in my writing, because my way is not the only way, and all magic is protected by good. So that when I share these things with people, that They can't switch it up or around. You can use it the way you want, but it has to be for yours and everyone's involved best and highest good. Okay, I need to adjust the talk. La, 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 la. It was so exciting downtown. That's what it was. I had fun. Plus, I had candy. I did some circle and ritual ideas in here, things that are very practical because even though we tap into ancient magic, we're modern witches. Okay. I remembered the funniest story. Can I tell you a funny story, Tamara? I was fixing
Tell
this
them,
vacuum.
tell me stories. I like stories. It's story time.
So in 1978, there was a very popular children's book called The Wednesday Witch, and it helped me through a really difficult time. I remember having severe nightmares about, I don't know, drowning in quicksand actually, and no one really paid attention. I'm a Generation X kid, we raised ourselves, and that book really saved me. I became the little girl in the book, and the long and the short of this story is this little girl accidentally shrunk a witch down that was in her house, and this witch flew around on a magic vacuum cleaner. She shrunk down the witch and her little cat, and she kept them in her dollhouse and took them to school in her pocket for about a week before this issue was resolved. But this book was like a Nobel Prize. It was very well written, and it was called The Wednesday Witch. And on the cover, she's riding her vacuum cleaner. And so it's funny because it made me think about this topic. We are modern witches.
I
Okay.
remember that. I remember this book you're talking about.
It was a really great story. And it really, I mean, of course, we didn't have the internet and the information we have today. So as a little girl, I read this book over and over and over again, and it became in the story. And I was the little girl with the witch in my pocket. It was funny. I had a little toy cat. Um, our imagination, we are the magic. So your imagination is. It's funny, I was the little girl in that one, and now I'm the witch with the vacuum cleaner. And how I remembered this was somebody gave me a free vacuum cleaner, and the one I had in here was too large. Anyways, I had to change the belt on it. When I was fixing this thing, I had this memory of this whole time because it was a lengthy time where I can't even remember the little girl's name, but the little black cat's name was Cinders. I love that name too. Anyways, that's my silly story for the moment. It was funny, but we're modern witches, so you might have a broom and use these things in symbology, but everything that we use in every day, don't go ride around and fly around on your vacuum cleaner, but everything in our day and everything in our life now, it can be with intention incorporated into our magical practice.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
I was thinking about, what do I normally do? And I can tell you that normally I do things alone. And I think you're the same. You're like me. We normally do our work alone. We speak to spirits on our own. We
Yeah.
don't. We come up with our little rhymes all by ourselves. Nobody's listening but spirit and the wind. And I was thinking, how interesting it is to offer this to a larger community, like on TikTok. I have in the past, I used to do these workshops called Cast and Conjure, and they were all magical on the Sabbats and that. And I did do, groups of, I think the largest group I really was in was probably 13, to be honest with you, except unless it was at Pagan Fest. And then there was 30 or 40. But I always had the jitters before I had to go on stage. And I still get the jitters when I have to go on stage. One second, one second. Oh, look at, we have the fireman here. Hello, son. Yes, you can start that. Thank you.
Uh, uh,
Thank you, Skylar. My son's going to start a fire for us so that we can um, burn the things we want to rid ourselves of, and so that we can put prayers in the fire.
right.
Um,
So those of you that are in the room right now, jot down
yep,
actually a little history, right? This is like New Year's Eve with
yep,
the wheel of the year. So when this night is complete, so right now is the time to in New Year's, typical New Year's is we write resolutions, but
yep,
in my practice, and the way I learned it was
yep.
we write down what we are done with from this
Yes,
year. And just as
yeah.
soon as I said that, if you're listening, you know what your thing is. You
That's
know.
right. And I was thinking, what am I done with? What am I done with? Well, I
Mhm.
got a whole bunch of bay leaves here, and I'm willing to write down what you're done with,
Yep,
whoever,
yep.
and
We'll
I'll
burn
put
them
it
for
all in a
you.
bay leaf and I'll burn it for you here in the sacred fire as well. So, one of the things I'm done with is pain, physical pain. I'm done with it.
Write what you want to banish below, you guys,
That's
so we
right.
can get it on a leaf for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Thank you. And doubt. Doubt's a big one. Okay, you're done with negativity energy coming towards you. So you're done with the negative path. But can I say it that way? The negative path. Does that work, do you think?
I think when they hear the incantation, it will.
Yeah. Okay. So we're done with okay, you were going to say that. Physical pain. There you go. So yeah. And all
I'm
of our
seeing
collective
anxiety.
anxiety. Yes. Oh yes. That's a good one. Anxiety. And it doesn't matter if you spell it wrong.
You can write anything that's unwanted here. How
What
about
else?
repeating certain behaviors when you catch yourself, I don't know, gossiping, or you don't write gossip, but you know what I'm saying? Unwanted behaviors that you just don't want to get caught up in that anymore. You somehow keep falling into that pattern of
I would say,
behavior.
could we say, Carmen, would you say we could say doubt on that? Automatic negative thoughts. What would that be? Like the naysayer. Is that like the naysayer? Would that work,
Naysaying,
Carmen?
right? Yep.
Yes.
Well, that
And
part of the
let's see.
ego that tells us all the time that we are afraid or not to, that
Yeah,
causes us to freeze because we don't want to take that next step.
self doubt.
That's a part of us
That's
that's
a
an old program. We
yeah. I
don't need
thought
that
that,
information.
Carmen. Self doubt. Yeah, I definitely. I had that was my first one was doubt, because it gets weird when you go to do something. Like I've been doing this for so many years. I actually get anxiety trying to write it down. You know what? I didn't even do the jot form that I told you I was going to do because it gives me anxiety to be that organized. I need to flow.
That's your inner critic that always is saying, no, 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 no. Hold on. Your heart's going to race. You need to wait. And it causes us to freeze. And that's what you're calling doubt, but it's like a response to
Yeah, I do freeze. To be honest with
it's
you,
a,
it's the weirdest thing. I freeze. In fact, my mother we were talking about the fact that I have this shy, I'm kind of shy. She goes, "You're not shy at all." I said,
yeah,
"Well,
they
I
don't
feel
see it
like I'm
that way.
shy." I said, "Mom, tell me when the last time was that I went to a party." She goes,
Oh, that could be some other, that could be different. Maybe you're just more introvert and that's not shy. But they don't see us that way because we're bold anyway.
"That's bold. That's right." And that's
You're
exactly what
bold
I told her I
anyway.
was.
Bold, but look, being brave means doing it when you're scared. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're not scared.
And that's
It
me. I'm
doesn't.
definitely feel like I'm brave. But yeah, that's
Very
absolutely
true.
right. Right? Yeah, it's so
But
weird.
let's see the other things that we want to release, right? That we
Being
want.
taken for granted.
Yeah. So not having so setting better boundaries we want. So that would be like a lack of boundaries. We want what we want to let go.
So we want to
We
give
also
away
do
our lack of boundaries.
letting that go. That habit is done. Bye.
Yep. Okay. You know what? This is going to sound a little odd, and if there's men in the room, please, please, please forgive me. But I want to give away my stupidity around men.
Oh, I don't think that. I think that want to give away our lack of judgment.
Okay. Okay, I'll use that. Lack of judgment
Because it
regarding
could be
men.
other. Let's see. There might be somebody on here. It might more like be like a choosing friends, right?
Okay, lack of judgment. We'll give that away.
Yeah. That
You're
we're
done
fine.
with
We're
not
done with
making
that.
yourself a priority. Oh, you're done with the broken egg syndrome.
Broken eggs. Oh, boy, I haven't heard it called that in a long time.
Do you know
Go
what I'm
ahead.
talking about? Like how
Yeah.
many times have you made eggs and you get the broken one?
Yeah. Let's see. So we've covered. Um, how about the lack of trust of our own intuition? Like
Yeah,
I want to release that not listening to what I like when you know it, but then you do something else, that not listening to my intuition. That I want to let that go.
yeah,
Still
yeah,
happens too frequently, or a lot of dialogue has to go on there to bring me back to
absolutely. And
think.
it's funny because even and it's so weird because you would try you would. how do I say this? You get this instinct that so and so isn't quite right, and you can't put your finger on it, and you
Give it
don't
the
have
benefit
anything
of
to
the
go
doubt.
on, and you have nothing to go on. So you look like a fool if you just go, no, and everybody else is cool with them, but you're not. And then a
Yep.
week or two in, they do something to show you that you were right.
Yeah. That intuition. That's the one I'm talking about. The one that we regret not listening to every time.
Every time.
That's the one every time.
Oh my God, I'm so with you on that one. Okay. Um,
And
okay, so
not
we
not appreciating myself. So we are gonna let go of actually we should let go of self-hate, guys. Whether it's our body or whether it's our voice, whether it's our work, whatever we tell ourselves isn't good enough.
Yep,
And
yep,
under self-hate comes not appreciating, putting ourselves in our self-love first,
yep, absolutely.
caring for the whole vessel.
Okay, so nobody said, wait, I'm going to add, I want to let go of some weight. Okay? Things that I don't need, weight I do not need, things that are too heavy, I'm going to let go of heavy.
So how would you word that in that
Let go of heavy.
the heaviness? Yeah.
And on the back, I'm going to say, wait.
I'm gonna look at the comments while you thinking this through.
Okay?
Emotional weight. That's right. The heaviness.
Yep, that's a good one.
The
Emotional weight.
inability to speak my truth.
Good one. I
Lacking,
see another one there that looks good.
releasing emotional trauma. And so much
That's a
falls
good
under
one.
all emotional trauma.
So we're
Like
going to
everything we're
release, I think we could just say trauma, Lilith. Would you be okay with that? Release the cat. Mm, that might be dangerous to the dog.
welcome, you guys. We're so glad you're here.
Sure we are. Hi, everyone.
Being taken for granted, that with means putting yourself first. I feel on the flow thing. Social anxiety, we got that one in here. Inner naysayer, yep, our critic, we got that.
Okay, you're going to read them. I'm going to put some incense on, and I'm going to
I'm going through them, making
I'm
sure
going
I
to run
don't
them
see
through the
anything.
smoke.
I'm done with my automatic negative thoughts. We actually have an exercise for that.
I have some nutmeg. I have some bay leaves. I'm
Favorite.
burning these. And if you had my friend's document, you would know everything to burn today. And I
I
have
think
some sage.
you guys think of anything else.
And I did put some cloves and um, Jezebel to help with releasing negative energies.
So about
Um,
Soam, right? Some other names for Soam or Hollow Mass, All Hallows Eve,
yes,
Halloween,
yes,
and
Carmen.
Sohum, right? The dates that it's commonly celebrated is the 31st through sometimes November 3rd and 4th. It depends on the region, really.
It does. That's why I said November 2nd, because the majority of it is
Yeah,
done by then. Although, if you're looking for the Day of Dead rituals in Mexico and in those areas, they do go into the
they
second,
go
the
into
third, and the
the
fourth. And that's beautiful. Can you imagine just being acceptable to take your blanket and a picnic and go and sit in the cemetery with your family and toast them and love them and speak to them? Yesterday, I took my mama out to her favorite restaurant. And it was funny
love
because
that.
my heart-picked father phoned while we were sitting down. And I said that I was taking my mama out to honor my ancestors and the people, my mother, and that. He goes, ancestors, she's not gone. I said, no. I said, but the two of you are the leaders in my family, right? And today I'm thinking of my grandpas and my grandfathers and those that I've loved, my grandmas, and those that I married who have passed. I've had three serious relationships, and the men, those men are gone, and some very good friends and girlfriends, and very spiritual people that I've known. And it's a day to think about them. And today I lit candles for each of them. Each of them I lit a candle for. And, it's a good thing to do if you want to light a candle for each of the people or the beings. I
We
have
tend to get a
dogs.
lot. We tend to get a lot of new people in here. So some these are great examples, right, of what you can do for your
Yeah.
ritual. You decorate it with orange and black,
And purple.
and decorate with apples or
Yeah.
marigolds, acorns, squash and gourds. It's a good time to set out a food offering because we're going to be guiding the ancestors and wanderers and pets to their final resting place if they choose to go tonight.
Another thing that I like to do is I like to take candies and put them in the four directions.
Candies. There's a thing about candies in my ebook where putting gold wrap candies inside of a pumpkin for an abundance offering.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
I
all of
put them
these
out for
ideas.
I put them
Yeah.
out for the little people. And
Mhm.
it's always been that if I've ever forgotten, I end up getting them reminding me by being mischievous. So I like to put them out so that I can avoid that exchange. Instead, they'll work with me.
So let's see. The primary focus, of course, is honoring the dead, regeneration, transformation, honoring the harvest, and preparing for winter. And we're closing out this turn of the wheel of the year by ridding ourselves of bad habits. Yes, we are. It
Good,
marks the
Lauren.
path.
That's good. Claire, I'm sorry that you lost your mama and your dad, and I know
I'm so
you're thinking of them. Prayers to them today, and of the children in the native tradition. Yes, yes, and all the other children, the witches' children, all the children who were taken advantage of and who are not here, who didn't live a full life. Indeed, I have a
sorry.
sister too who was 4 months old who passed. So, yes, definitely to the children.
And this is the time that we invite them into our magical circle and we honor them, and we also cleanse. We take all of their burdens upon us actually in this rite, and to honor and cleanse their lives, and then ease them gently to the summerland is how
Yes,
this works. Is
yeah.
how the tradition that I was raised in works.
Same
So we
here.
let them speak through us. So we're gonna give you guys a couple of minutes to get a pencil and paper because strange things can come through in this type of thing. And what I mean by strange is you'll hear things that don't really make sense or maybe pertain to your life today because we're starting a new turn of the wheel. You're going to want to refer back to that over the course of the next 12 months from today forward. That's why it's good too. This is another reason why I made this because people don't know how to start like their book. So it's just a really good, you can write on it and poke holes in it or get the ebook fashion, excuse me, version. Gonna have allergies now. But it just gives a little bit of facts, a little bit of fun, and then we have a couple of rituals to
And
go
that
through.
was a beautiful idea to put a plate of food out for your grandmothers.
We were taught
Indeed.
to offer food for them for their journey. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how that. And then people often ask what to do with it afterwards. Just put it outside, if you can, if that's
And
suitable.
well, in my tradition, we had two ways of doing it. One is to put it at the east side of a tree, because that's a doorway, an easy doorway to get into. And then the other was to put it in a fire so that all spirits can enjoy it. So there was, I mean, there's, you may have a way that isn't what we're speaking of, and that's okay. It's just the acknowledgement and the intention. I think that's really important that you
I
remember
also
your spirits.
Yeah, I also included a 7-day candle option in this
Yeah,
because I think some people aren't comfortable with the thought of opening a portal.
yeah.
Now, when I learned it, we opened the portals in the West, but it's interesting to me how every tradition, it doesn't matter. It's what it matters to you and makes sense to you and your research is what's most important.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
I think,
in the West is where it is the doorway of the dead in our tradition, in my tradition. But when we're blessing or leaving food for them, we leave it in the eastern doorway.
Oh, I see. Oh,
So when
I
they come in the
I
west, when they come
mhm.
in the west, they cross to the east to get their food. And it's sort of like a, see, we call that the blue road of spirit. Anyways, that's, we
I
all
love
have a
that.
little bit of different traditions. I
That's
have
what's
some
neat
native
about this
traditions.
type of thing, and this is
Yeah,
why everybody needs to stop fighting, because it
yeah,
doesn't, you know what I mean? It's your way, and after you do it at every Halloween for the next 20 years, then
yeah,
you're like, wow, you listen to how other people do it, but you have your practice. It's your practice,
yeah,
your way.
yeah. But I agree with you about opening the portal in the western doorway, enabling them to come in. It's easier for them to come in that way, but it's also
Mm.
when they come in, it's easy for them to just walk in and then the food is there. So,
Ah,
did you want to?
we set up the sacred space and they gathered the supplies to get in it, is what I suggested, which
Yeah.
we're doing here. Everybody's in the room. And then I have an invocation. And then usually after an invocation, people would do divination. I don't think we're
Okay.
going to do that order here tonight, but
No,
usually
no, we're
that,
gonna do just.
yeah,
We'll do it your way. We'll do it that way. No problem. Go ahead.
you do your divination with your favorite divination tools when you're in there. And then the next part of it is to either have the fire vessel or a fire going, but this is a fire festival, is when we do the little incantation and burn the leaves and say goodbye
So
to those things.
my son's lighting the fire now. Shall we go out to it?
We can do all that at once. And then after we're done with that, oh, pardon me, I just said this out of order. I have worse light in here. I got a flashlight. Do the invocation, perform and record any divinatory measures that you wish. And then because it's the time of ending, we take the slips of paper and we burn them as we choose, or in the way that you choose. And then I burn this trait that brings me strife, that one. And then after that, it's time for us to close down the group of the ancestors that we call in with the invocation and guide them.
And when we're all said and done, we're going to talk about the gifts that our ancestors gave us as well.
Yeah, write everything down.
Yeah, we got to
Everything
talk
down
about
that
that too,
comes to
because
your mind during
because in my, like, there are so many gifts that our ancestors have given us, and if you think back, you'll hear, oh, my ancestors sang, or and I'm a singer, or I was a crafter, and so was my grandmother, and so on. So we can talk a little bit about that as at the fire. So I thought we'd go out to the fire, and you can do the invocation if you wish.
Want me to wait till you get there?
Sure.
All right, everybody, you ready?
Hello, what are you doing out here, my girl? Excuse me for a second. Come on, you stay here.
Okay.
How's it going, Sky? Thank you.
Greetings, welcome in.
We're going to have a fire. Thank you, Skylar.
Oh, that looks wonderful. All right, everybody, get into a comfortable position.
Should open this one up a bit, Sky. Yeah, just a bit.
Using the end of that catnip and the stalks and everything.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you, Sky. All right. That's my
Everybody
son,
comfortable?
Skylar.
Thank
That's my
you.
son, Skylar. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate it. You're a sweetheart. Thank you.
No problem. It should behave now. I think I've had it going long enough.
All right. Have a good night.
Great. Happy Halloween, you and everybody.
Yes, yes.
Nice hat. It's
Thank you.
adorable.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Okay,
That's
well,
good. We're good.
that's
Ah,
wonderful.
okay. Skylar. Jesus.
Oh,
Ah.
now we're gonna go for a spill here.
Yeah, we had a spill over here too. I got to go pick it all up.
Everything falls up here.
That's energy. That is energy. That is weird energy. And that is what's going on. Yesterday I did a reading for today, and it was a pretty heavy reading. Pretty heavy.
All right. Good. You ready?
Ready?
Okay, everybody, here we go. As each autumn leaf falls to the ground, it buries the unwanted and all that is unsound. In this harvest time and the sown sun, this turn of the wheel is now done. All across the forest, a dark mist becomes deep. The door between worlds we now open with ease. Ancestors and wanderers, familiars and family pets, come join us now to clear sorrow and regret. This time is to celebrate and honor you, then guide you to the summerland when we are through.
Beautiful.
And then inside your sacred space, it's usually recommended that this would be the time to use your favorite divinatory measures.
What was that?
Now's the time that in your
Could
space
you say
you
that
would.
again, please?
Yeah. Are you having trouble hearing me? Can you hear me?
You blocked out for a second on my end.
Okay. Everybody can hear me? So now would be the time that we would do divination. And it
Yes.
could be for the year. It could be your favorite practice, your pendulum, your spirit board, or anything like that. Did you want to do that now? It's up to you if you want to do that as part of this and do
Um,
a reading or not, or they can do it personally.
but I would first. I think if we could just switch it around a little tiny bit. I'd like to put the bay
You want to
leaves
burn the
and the
leaves?
things we're going to get rid of first.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. Can we do that
So
now?
what I'll do is I'll read the little incantation and you say each slip
Thank
just
you.
over me and burn them. Okay.
Okay. Okay,
So
go.
because it's time of endings, we're going to take these words and we're going to burn them. And this is how it goes. You just say each one as you pick them up,
Okay.
right over me. I'll
Okay.
just keep
Negative.
reading it.
A,
I'll
a
just
neg-
keep reading it. Sure.
okay. Negative path.
I burn this trait that brings me strife upon this sacred solemn night. I clean and clear what's unsavory to me. Space is now
Emotional
created for
trauma.
the best version of me. I burn this trait that brings me strife upon this sacred
Not
solemn night.
enough.
I clean and clear what's unsavory to me.
lack
Space is now created
of
for the
bound
best version of me. I
weight and
burn this
heaviness.
trait that brings me strife upon this sacred solemn night. I clean
Let
and clear
go
what's unsavory to me. Space is now created for the
of
best
heavy
version of
weight.
me. I burn this trait that brings me strife upon this sacred solemn night. I clean and clear what's
Not
unsavory to
trusting,
me. Space is now created
trusting the
for the
wrong
best
ones.
version of me. I burn this trait that brings me strife upon this sacred solemn
All
night.
trauma,
I clean and clear what's unsavory to me.
lack of
Space is now created for the
judgment,
best version of me. I burn this trait that brings me strife upon this sacred solemn night. I clean and clear
taken
what's
for granted.
unsavory to me. Space is now created for the best version of me. I burn this trait that brings me strife upon this
Broken egg
sacred
syndrome,
solemn night. I clean and clear what's unsavory to me.
anxiety,
Space is now created for the best version of me. I burn this trait that brings me strife upon this sacred
reality,
solemn night. I clean and clear what's unsavory to me. Space is now created for the best version of me. I burn this trait that brings me strife
ah, woo, woo, woo.
upon
That
this
was
sacred solemn night. No accident reports, okay?
whew,
I clean and clear what's unsavory to me. Space is now created for the best version of me. You okay?
done.
uh, see,
Woo.
see these traits in the fire, up in the fire. This is pretty special writing you guys are hearing because I haven't released it yet, except in this little
You,
ebook.
you know the one that popped out and I had to go reach in and get it and put it back in and it popped again? Doubt.
Doubt doesn't want to leave, huh? Too bad.
Doubt. So mote it be.
Too bad. So mote
Uh,
it be.
so that I'm going to walk back into my. Come on, darling. You're gonna come with me. You're gonna come. Oops. Wait a minute. What did I just find? Pain. Pain on
Oh,
the ground. Oh
hold
no,
on. Let me
Pain.
get
You're
my.
going. You're gone, baby. You're out.
I burn this trait that brings
Look,
me
it jumped out of
strife
the fire.
upon this sacred solemn night. I clean and clear that unsavory thing to me. Space is now created for the best version of me. Sneaky.
Sneaky, you got that right. And if it wasn't for my loyal little familiar, Angel, she's my
Hi,
angel.
baby.
That's my Sheltie girl. She snuck out to see me, and that's the reason I found it. Come on, my love. Come on. Come on, then, if you're coming.
So all of Tamar's property is sacred space. And if you're in a space of your own, you'd bring all these things in and have them with you, but we all end up running for something. I can tell you that. We all end up running for something out of the sacred space. The it's okay.
Normally, we cast a circle.
Yes.
Normally, there's a circle cast, and you stay inside that circle until it's closed. I have, though, created a spot from my back of my house to the back of this building, and there's a big
Probably your
circle
whole
outside.
property. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, when it becomes your lifestyle, everything is your sacred space. So
yeah, it's so true. Okay,
you're gonna flip a few cards just for like the upcoming year for a collective type thing, or you have,
absolutely.
yeah.
Actually, I did call in some energy. The giveaway ceremony, which is, and I'll just show you over here. Those cards there show the giveaway ceremony and the medicine bowl. and the
Beautiful.
counting coup, because the medicine bowl is about reflecting upon yourself, which what we're doing. And the counting coup is what we're going to do now about where are your gifts? What are the gifts that you have that you've been carrying and that were gifted to you? And the great smoking mirror and the medicine bundle is all about healing by looking at yourself and seeing what needs to heal and being honest about it. And the North Shield is about our elders, our ancestors, and the shaman's death is about what you're going to let go of, what you're going to kill off, and what you're going to create and birth. So I've already put that energy out, hoping for that to
Phew,
help the collective.
I can
But
tell you
indeed,
what,
I think it's a good idea to choose one tarot card to describe the
I want
coming year.
while you do get you, are you already, or I want to check in with the group. It's really warm in here. I want to see
Oh,
how
yeah,
everybody's feeling, where they are. Like, I
that's
can
a good
feel it
idea.
here. How are you guys all doing? It is read and that is done. Want to check and see how you're feeling. Can you feel energy in this room tonight? No pain. Good job. They let things go. I like to check on you. You're outside by the fire. That's beautiful. I gotta turn the heat down. You feel good? That's good. It's warm. It got warm in here. Woo.
So this is a time for divination. This is a really good time to do automatic writing. And one of the ways I would do that is by putting a mirror in front of me. In fact, I have a beautiful mirror that I got from Lori Cabot's store many moons ago. And what it is, and you can make one yourself, is just get a mirror, put a black something on the back, and sprinkle some what do you call that? Glitter. Put some glitter on it in certain areas, and then put a glass and a frame around it, and you put that in front, like at the back of your table. Then you put a candle in front, and then your books in front, and that's when you just keep writing. You ask spirit, you know what what you need to know. So this is a really good time to do automatic writing. That's a good tool you could create for yourself. So I did get my tarot cards out.
What are you guys' favorite form of divination personally? Like cards or pendulums or runes, or do you read signs in nature? Feeling at peace and calm energy. That's beautiful. Hello from Ireland. Welcome.
Hi, Kelly.
Pendulums, tarot.
Yes, pendulums are fantastic. I did get one out for us to play with, and my tarot cards. So, one of the things I like about pendulums is that you can turn it into like a Ouija board, like a spirit board. And this is an awesome time to try doing that. In fact, I have this little thing that I use, this thing here. You can make your own, or you can come to my store and get one, or another store, but you can make them too. And they're so easy. And so,
They're
anyways, then
so
you would put it
cool.
down, and I could ask it a question, and I'm willing to ask a few questions for you. And I'll choose a tarot card and the pendulum. And I was thinking we could try to ask what spirits are here, what names, what spirits are here.
On there. Let's show them.
I have a
Mine says
K.
yes, no, maybe.
No, I have a K and an I. K I.
Ooh, does that mean anything to anybody?
K I. Who's a K I? Any initials with a K I? Let's see who
Sometimes,
else we have.
sometimes I don't pick up my cards for months at a time, and other times I'll check them every day. And then other times I'll do something else, like I might make a scrying bowl and put a few drops of oil in it and spin it around with my fingers. It's just,
Yeah. Oh, another one is to melt wax into a bowl and see what kind of images come out of it, or animal
yeah,
symbols or
reading
letters or
tea
whatever.
leaves. People have a whole There's a whole science behind the images in these things. And they always look to me like wet leaves.
There is a John. There is a John here. There is a John here, Claire. I just I asked who's next, and I got
John,
John. John.
Kennedy.
So there is a John here. That's interesting. Anybody else? Is there anybody else who wants to be known today? Ooh, what do we got?
We welcomed you in, come one and all. Going to have
M A. Huh. R. It's a Mary. Who's Mary?
we
Don't
have a
tell me you asked about
Mary.
a Mary.
Well,
You
that's
did
who
ask, Claire. You
I
asked.
haven't. I haven't. My dad's sister was Mary. That's
Oh my
interesting.
goodness. Well, John and Mary are speaking right now, just so you know.
We have a
I don't
lot
know.
of women. We didn't have a lot of women in that side of the bloodline. He came from a family of 10, but it was 8 boys and only the two
Well, my
girls.
grandmother's Mary as well. So, and I have Marie in my name. My mother's Rosemary, so Mary's a very important name.
That's my grandmother.
Look at all the Marys are here. Of course they are, the witches.
They came
The,
through pretty strong too.
oh my God, it's like yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And there's more than one. How many Marys are here? 7. 7 Marys are here. 7 Marys. Hail Marys. Hail Mary. I love it. That's amazing. I absolutely love that.
Ask it, and can you ask if we have any like wandering spirits here
Oh, yes.
that aren't part of the group, but
Yeah.
also need our assistance tonight?
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one, Shelby. So, are there any wandering spirits here that don't actually belong to any of us, but maybe we're here on this land? Oh,
Called
did
we
you hear
called
that? Did you guys hear that?
I did hear that.
That
We
is a
called
ghost
you were
that I
called
think
to our you were called to our light. So if you're tired of the roaming and the wandering, you're more than welcome to go through the portal we create tonight.
it
Please.
says no. It says no. On the pendulum, it said no.
No, I'm not either. No, I'm not going, or you guys are too bright tonight.
I don't want to
So
go.
you asked the other night what happens if somebody doesn't want to go. It's their free will.
It's true.
You have free will in every realm.
So I
Yeah.
think that, well, I have to be honest with you. It has scared me a few times in here. When I'm doing things like this, and all of a sudden it'll come up behind me, and I feel something behind me, and then I hear a big boom or something like somebody stepped in behind me, and it freaked me out. A couple times I was doing readings, and I jumped, and someone would say, what's wrong? And I said, honestly, there is a spirit in the room, and I'm not joking. It really is here. I have felt it.
Goes to show you that we jump too.
Right?
We
Oh,
will. Of
Tasha,
course we will.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tasha. I'm sorry. We'll send blessings to her.
That's very sad.
I'm
So much
sorry,
love for
sweetie.
her and hers and theirs, you and yours.
Well, um, yeah, that's sad that someone would take tonight to be the night to pass. Yeah, sending healing energy. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess today is a good day to die.
Yeah, let's briefly talk on that for a moment. My experience is that the family that you need, yeah, that even we are welcome in the circle and everything, but they're not here yet. They're not in this. There's things going on in this particular time, but sorry for that. That's awful. Thank you. Uh, for- so what are you doing there? Do you still have the spirit board going? Do you still have the
Yeah,
the
I've
thing
actually
going?
just asked a question of the cards about this lady whose friend died. And I'm being told to tell you that this was her choice, and she's good with where she went. She's good. She's better. She's good. So you know that. Okay.
Thanks
Bye,
for saying.
Kelly. Okay,
Um,
so
and and she will be part of some. If you are still practicing, she will be part of this type of. Whoops. Hold on. I'm knocking you over. Next year's celebration would be the time to set up the shrine and add this person to your work. Okay?
indeed. For now, you could set up a little shrine of gratefulness for her in your life, and in a quiet way, with a picture and a candle. And but in some traditions, one being mine, we're not to say the name of the person for 1 year. You can think of them, you can honor them, but to not say their name, because that interferes with their flow as they're passing, and
Our society
they'll
is
come
not
back.
that. Just you that what we go through, so our practices in society don't really allow for that, but I've heard that and understood that before too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this is the collective. I'm going to give one card for everyone in the room energetically. This is what you can all look forward to this coming year. Daughter of the earth, a reconnection with nature, good work that soothes your soul and provides you finances that you require and blesses you with the food that you need. Learning, education, these kinds of things are going to come to you this year. And that is a good thing. That's a very good thing. Especially when it shows me that many will struggle with abundance, but not those in the room today.
No, not the ones that are in the room today. Taking
Yeah,
the time to sit in this now moment is going to shift your directionality in the 12 months coming forward. So you're going to see a big division, like we've seen it in the past few years. It's going to be a bigger division. Those who can assimilate the new energies and those who want to cling to the old. So let's move forward with that. Okay.
indeed. So one last thing here that I'd like to do before we invoke or open the gate or the portal is speak to. I'd like all of you to think for a moment about the gift or a gift that someone in your spiritual circle, your ancestors maybe, gave you, supported you in, or helped teach you. And I'm going to start with my psychic skills. It comes from my father's side and my grandmother on his side, and the grandfathers, which surprised me that many of the men were very psychic. And so was my son, by the way. And so I'd like to honor my ancestors for the gift of and confidence to use my psychic skills. That's one thing that I was able to receive, and I want to give gratefulness to. How about you?
I'm such a critic of my work and what my gifts would be. I I'm not exactly sure where my gift of writing comes from, but I fully intend to embrace to step into that authority and honor that going forward this year and displace the doubt every time it rears its ugly head till it's done. I don't know where it comes from.
That's beautiful, Lauren. That's beautiful too. I bet you any money if you did some sort of ancestry thing on family in the past, you may find that they were writers in your family, Shelby. Poets,
Somebody
maybe.
must have been. Somebody had to be.
Yeah,
We they're all known. One of the generational things to break was all the to get this big family and all completely disconnect big family and just very disconnected. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm close with mine.
yeah.
So it's not stopped with me, but it's not a big family. Good. So what are the gifts you guys are going to honor? Come on, you know you have them. See, we won't admit it. We won't admit that maybe you've been more psychic recently. Maybe you've been more telepathic. Maybe you're picking up on conversations. Maybe you're hearing things, but you think it's just your imagination. Maybe, what's another one? Maybe you think something touched you on your shoulder, but then you're like, I was just dreaming. You know,
Right?
what's the one we're
Carmen.
hearing? Oh, what have I covered so far? There's clairaudient, clairsentient, clair. What am I missing? I'm missing another one.
There's like
Smell.
the
I know. I've
clairvoyant,
met.
clairvoyant.
There's so many, really. I've met
Yeah,
a
there
woman
are the
recently, though,
Claires, all
who,
the Claires.
yeah. How
This
about
one,
you smell
Carmen.
something?
Carmen is speaking of one of her gifts as being music. It runs in her family, more of dad's sides. That's a good thing to honor. And Amanda speaks of prophetic dreaming. Dreaming, she inherited that. And Dee's dad um, taught there was never any problems. You just couldn't. Only solutions. That's a good one. Hearing thoughts that aren't your own. Ah. That's what
So,
you do, I see. Intuition, good.
mm,
You inherited your mother's ability to pick up in energetic fields and energy. Oh, that's a good one.
I have that
Yes,
one too.
me too.
Yep.
Hi, you were right about my snappy mom. I found out today the issues from, oh, we're talking about a reading. I'm sorry, Nicole. I'm trying to read out the stuff regarding this.
Oh,
I keep hearing my name called and peripheral shadows. Oh, I
that's
heard,
clairaudient.
yeah. Claircognizant,
Yeah,
yes, or cognition.
when you hear, if you actually hear it, I hear my mother's yelled my name a couple of times. Once made me spin right around in Walmart. The
Doesn't that
she sends.
I always heard that when I hear my name, it puts me on guard, Shelby. It puts me on guard. It tells me that something important is about to happen or is happening or I must pay
Yeah,
attention.
it was a specific circumstance
Yeah.
that she was snapping me out of it. She yelled it put me on guard, all right. She yelled at me like a small child. My mother's been gone now since let's see, what am I? My mother's been gone 35 years.
Wow. So
So
Caitlin speaks of her mother um, taught her with nature and gave, oh, good. And so you have the love of nature and magic. That's wonderful.
I'm gonna be in
Um,
by a tree with people watching. That's probably a memory.
oh, yes.
Yeah. I teach grandfather. I can't wear tight clothes at all. I
Yeah.
don't know. Well, I don't have the memory, but I have physical sensations where I definitely can't stand anything tight on me at all.
Yeah.
You know, anywhere. And remember, I in the beginning, if you were here, I talked about having severe nightmares as a child of quicksand, but that type of suffocation. I've always had a fear of suffocating like that. So, like, who wouldn't? But that's how I get all of that, those memories from me. But that's what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot wear turtlenecks and I can't have my feet under the covers and I have to have air blowing. I have all these little things and I'm not sure. It reminds me that I was suffocated. I couldn't
Yeah,
breathe.
I'm not
Yeah.
particularly thrilled with floating in the water.
No.
I like sitting at the beach or with my feet in it, but getting in and going to swimming, not too much. And I'm a Pisces, just different things.
Yeah.
Birth birthmarks in places where you're like, what is that? Stuff like that. So we all, I think, especially if you're in this room hanging out, you probably have something like that. You know, I can be a lazy witch and that type of thing. I'll be like, what is it that I need to know in this lifetime from that experience? I like get right to the root of the matter. I don't want to hear about the trauma. So let's just skip the thing. What do I need to know now? Why am I having this memory now? Is how I address that.
Right.
And then the answers come at some point in time.
By the way,
Or
I
they
love
don't.
your hat.
Thank you. You know that my girlfriend's granddaughter got it at her 4-H. She got it for me at a 4-H festival last week, and a 7-year-old crocheted it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I
A
usually I just
seven
went
year
up.
old crochet. A
Yeah,
7-year-old crocheted it.
7-year-old made it. Yeah, so 7-year-old after my own heart. Mm, something I would have done at 7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had this interesting discussion the other day about Christian witches, and how do people feel about Christian witches? It was a very interesting discussion, and there's people on both sides. with
Just
valuable.
we're modern witches now, people. Just like I said, we're gonna fly around on our vacuum cleaners instead of brooms. We're modern now. So what it, they really always were, you could see things in the houses, or even if they actually looked at the practices, or I mean, I don't have an opinion one way or the other, but my best friend that I live with here, their family is are practicing Christians. They're nothing like TikTok Christians. It's nothing like that. So, matter of fact, when I tell them about some of the behaviors that we observe on here, they're just like their heart's kind of broken because they minister to people. The one, it's the path. All paths are right for somebody to find their path, right?
Yeah,
And unfortunately, that particular one has gotten a bad name because of all the persecution and everything that it's done, of course, and
yeah.
understandably. And then when, someone's like they serve the homeless, this family, they minister to people in need all the time, and then you tell them about some of the things we observe on here.
Yeah.
Did you see that Greg Locke lost his YouTube platform? We'll have that conversation later, but he's finally been brought, Mr. Waffle House Witches, he's been brought down.
Well, I have an interesting story that remember we were talking about weird things that have happened to us, and we were talking about scary things and weird things that have happened. And there's so many things that have happened in my life and yours that you've almost normalized it. Okay, and so we were thinking we don't have any stories. Well,
You
yes,
were
we do.
trying to find out scary stories, couldn't remember any.
I have a story. Listen to this.
Sure,
I went
you
to
you remembered one. Oh, good.
I did. Well, I've had lots of them, but here's one. There was a lot of spirit energy when I went to Europe a couple of years back, and it was all around me. And everywhere I went, I could feel this energy. It was like spirits were happy I was there. And so I went to Italy, which is part of my family is from Italy, and I went to the Vatican. Yes, I went to the Vatican. I'm
Now,
that
how did
brave
it feel
witch.
there? I've always wondered what that would feel like. Mm.
Well, isn't it interesting? That's my story. Now wait
Yeah.
till you hear this. I'm walking up to, we have to park quite a ways away, and I'm walking up to it. And this is no word of a lie. My son was with me to prove it. It's a true story. My feet began to burn as if they were on fire. They swelled up. They were red. They were itchy. They were sore. I could hardly walk, and it was going up my legs, up to my knees. By the time I got to the Vatican, inside where the church was just feet away, my whole body was so hot, I was almost going to pass out. And Andrew said, "Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here." I never even made it inside the building. I went all the way to Rome,
I've
and I
heard that
never
that
made it
kind of
inside the
energy
building.
is yeah. They got all of our good books in that place. They got all
That
the good.
happened to me. And when we left, it settled down. It took about an
Sure.
hour and a half for it to settle down, but it settled down. And I was so overwhelmed. It was crazy. Now that night, I'm sleeping in a 400-year-old mansion. And this is where Andrew lived. And I go to the bathroom, that's at night, and you have to go outside his suite, down the hall to a shared bathroom. I go down the hall to the shared bathroom, and all the way I'm feeling these spooky, spooky energies. I know there are spirits all around me, but I can't see them. I can just feel them. So I'm walking, and I'm like, oh God. And I'm trying to get to the bathroom. And that's okay. I come out, and I know they're watching me, but I just, I'm trying to be cool. And I go down this hall, which is pitch black. And as I get to near the end and I got to turn left to go back into my room, I see something coming at me, and I screeched as loud as possible. I screamed so loud I woke the whole house up. And all it was a 7-foot mirror in front of me. It was me scaring the shit out of myself.
Europe will do that to you. It will. Well, it wasn't, and they're probably laughing.
Oh yeah, they were
How
laughing all
many
right.
people have they scared in that mirror? Yeah.
I scared the crap out of myself. Anyway, so I would love to hear a story from you if you have one that you remember,
I tried
Shelby.
all afternoon to remember. We were talking about this when I was out trick or treating. I'm like, can you remember any scary? She knows everything. I was with my friend. Like, can you remember real? I'm sure I will when we're done. but it's like normalized. Everything's just so normalized but Europe, I love Europe. I'm Portuguese, you know. The all those places over there. I can't think of a scary story that really I could come up with. We had the Ocean-born Mary house that's not far from here, and her ghost roams around in the woods. See, I'm in New Hampshire. We have a lot of spooky history. Every house is, I was in a 200-year-old house this afternoon, and well, my last house, I guess that I wouldn't say that was scary, but she said there definitely it was a post office originally, and when I lived in New Hampshire here. I had an 1810 house in Barnstead, New Hampshire. Well, my first one is what I should say. And it definitely had things going on all the time. But I wouldn't call it, it was not spooky to me. But something would come stand at the top of the stairs every night where I would pause and wait to see if it was one of my kids or if it was, whoever that was. And I'd just kind of be like, okay. But I just couldn't think of one. Today was too busy. We should have had this meeting earlier for me to think
Yeah.
about it.
Well, maybe I could strike you with another one. So
It'll
my
come.
son was two. My son was two. I lived in this big old house, and every single Friday night at about 12:30 to 1:30, the radio would come on, and you would hear whoever it was changing the channels
You
until they
remember
got to
things like,
country
yeah,
music. And when they got to the country music, they would listen to about a song and a half, and then it would go off. Every Friday night for 2 years.
that's pretty cool. See,
And
things
my
like that
son
happen.
felt that energy there. And when he was two, he had a dream every single night for a week. Interesting. The candles are talking. Every single week, he had a dream that his grandmother was going to die. And so I checked in with her, and she had some serious blood coming out of her coughing. Anyway,
Oh,
she had, and the next, after the week, my son drew this thing on the wall with red with three lines in it. And later we found out it was her lung filled with
oh my
cancer,
word.
exactly where he wrote the lung. So when she got the x-ray, it looked exactly like that. And the red crayon showed exactly the outline of a lung and exactly where it was. So my son started developing psychic skills in that house. Very, very much so. Two of my friends want to go live. Who? Who wants to go live?
I can't read the little name. I have a child spirit that sits on the corner of my bed, they said, and I can feel the depression in the mattress. Oh, that's cool. That's a good story. See, I just don't remember them. I've experienced so many things, and I'm just like, okay.
The whole place is haunted. Yeah, I have a child spirit in the corner of my bed. Oh yes.
When
Two.
I lived at my parents' house, I would always levitate until I moved out.
Oh, that's freaky.
That could be a scary story, right? Find yourself in the
Well, I'll
air.
tell you that spirit. I just want to finish that story. That
When I was
spirit
three,
that
a
came
spirit started talking to me. I'm listening. Go ahead.
when that spirit came and warned me about my mother. It was the very thing that saved her life because I checked and made her check in again because her doctor gave her antibiotics and she had lung cancer. So if it wasn't for that persistent assistance from the spirit, and I believe the spirit was persistent and kind to me because I was so welcoming to it. It never bothered me every Friday night. I never got mad at it. I just
Yeah, I
accepted it
used to,
as,
the one that would come to the top of the stairs, I'd be like, oh, hello. It's just, it's normalized.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was April back in Barrie. Yes, it was. These things happened
Sometimes
in
I
Barrie.
like to see a shadow. Sometimes I like to see a shadow go beside me, but I'm alone. It happens. So, oh, sometimes you see a shadow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's been happening. We've been getting a lot more reports on that lately than you.
Yeah, well, this is certainly the time of year to get that extra energy going on.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I think we've leveled up energetically too. So, um, human potential. How do I put this? Like everybody can throw a football, but we don't all. human potential is at different varying levels. No one better than another, but I think if anybody's had some of them, they might be noticing an increase in them. A, the time of the year, and B, we are evolving. We are.
Yeah.
Mine knocked something over right before your show to remind me to watch it. Oh, how that
See, now
happened.
you want to thank them. That's the point, right?
Yeah,
And this is why I
talk
put
to them.
candies out. This is why I put candies out for the little people or the
I
fairies.
did dream a lot. I had a lot of prophetic messages. Keep them written down. Listen carefully to spirit about whether to share them or not. Okay. I did. Good. That's good. So, and typically at this point in the ritual, and I've talked about ancestors and talked about and done the divination, and then when we were in a group, someone drew a pentacle or a sigil of your choice in the west, and do it clockwise. And I have now, if in my ebook, I have two options for this. If you're not into drawing portals, then there's an option too for lighting a 7-day candle. I can read both of those.
I'm willing to do the portal. Where would you like me to do it?
So you want to draw the portal. Let's see. Let me see what I wrote here. I use a wand and I draw a clockwise. I said pentagram, but and then I put you can use a circle or a symbol of your choosing to open a portal. And that's our intention. We're going to open this portal. And when you do that, I can read this. You ready?
Done.
Blessing be upon you, loving spirits of the dead. We thank you for your presence, and we guide you to your final stead. We grant you safe passage to the summer land, where you'll rest peacefully until you return again. We bid you fond farewell, so mote it be.
So mote it be.
So mote it be. And then sometimes you sit for a minute and you can feel them go through. We can send them through. Feel the room clear. And they're always really peaceful to do that. And I can read this next part as well. So this would be for a 7-day candle, but I can finish this one. Be a beacon on this night, a sacred flame burning bright. Light the path of the dead to the summer land just ahead. That is it. Let's send them through. And when we're ready, you're going to do it in reverse and close it up.
Before we finish, I just want to say a prayer, my own prayer.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Great Spirit, Kichimanidu, Akimama, grandmothers, grandfathers of the East, the South, the West, the North, above and below and within. Thank you so much for being here tonight with all of my friends and people here in our circle of the White Wolf Coven. And especially thank you for Shelby and for her being part of this with us and sharing her gifts and her knowing. And thank you, Great Spirit, for all that you have given us for this beautiful evening. Shimagwich, Great Spirit. Thank you. Miigwech.
Close it up when you're ready.
Thank you. Miigwech.
Bid you fond farewell.
Thank you, Shelby.
Beautiful. And it's done.
And so it is. Until next year. Happy New Year, everyone, and blessed be to all of you. And may your Samhain grant you all the things that you need, the abundance of the land, and let it be a long and huge abundance so that you have the whole year filled with what you need. when you need it and how you need it. Happy New Year. Blessed be, sisters. Blessed be. Thank you, everyone. Um, we're going to let you go and
Yes,
let you have
that's
a wonderful night.
it is. It's time to release.
Yeah. Blessed be to everyone. I hope you have a good
Thank
night.
you so much for being here, Wolf.
And just before we leave, I'd like to remind you that One Little Witch Shelby is the tag name for this lovely lady. Please go to her bio and help her with her puppy by buying this beautiful document on Samhain so you can have it in your collection.
For
And also
Halloween,
you,
because I'm gonna have one for Yule, which will be much better written.
oh, I'm
Absolutely
sure actually,
wonderful.
once you get to know what Shelby has to offer, you'll be very glad you followed her. I hope everyone has a
Thank you
super
so much.
awesome night and happy Halloween and good night, sister. Love you.
Thanks for having me. Good night, you
Yeah.
guys. Much
Good
love
night,
to you.
everyone. Much love. May your prayers all come true, folks. Good night. I'm going to go take my mama out to a little Halloween bash. Good night.